Where do you want to
suited
sit?
up. There's a
You know?
microphone. He's going to put it right there. You stay right there.
There's a microphone. I'm gonna get. We've got a bunch of wires over here.
Corpus
like,
Christi City Mayor Joe McComb getting wired up here to get mic'd up so we can talk to us about what he's been able to. There you go. Perfect. Right there. Yes. Mayor, welcome. Welcome to 3 News again. Kind of like your second home now.
Well, we just want to make sure the public understands, and
Sure.
I apologize for the way I look.
That's
but,
okay. You're a working man.
Understandable.
I've got a yard full of trash like everybody does, and I'm trying to get it cleaned up. But I want to get as much information to the public as I can. So
What can you tell
I
us?
called somebody to tell you couldn't come home the right way last night.
No,
did
I know.
You didn't get that?
I didn't get the message until too late, and all of a sudden that tree's like
Oh yeah,
blocking the way to get in the
you had to
neighborhood.
go a new way home.
Yeah.
No, we had a briefing at noon, and we're going into kind of the operational phase now of emergency management. They've got a plan. They're working the plan right now. They're doing the assessment. They've got their eyes on wheels with all the different departments, just doing kind of a windshield audit to identify. The brush crews are already out on trees, like the one there that was on St. Andrews that was blocking the street. They've got those out there trying to get the residential areas cleaned up, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows one, I don't have the number, and I apologize, but you probably got a number to call the emergency management office or the Billy Delgado at
EOC.
EOC. Yeah.
Sure.
They can get the information to them, and give them those, and then they'll pass it on to solid waste. Let me turn my phone off. But we want to get the streets going, get them cleaned up. The main streets pretty well people know, but I mean, they don't know all the residential streets, or that will save. The people can be the eyes and ears and help us.
Sure.
accomplish
Let
our
us
job
know
a lot
where the
quicker.
problems are.
Right.
Okay.
And speaking of eyes and ears, one of the things that we really want to stress to the public is be extremely aware of your surroundings, because we don't know where all the down lines are. Where you may have, a lot of houses are back to back, and there's the easements behind the house, and you got the power lines behind them. If there's a live wire hanging on a chain link fence,
Oh, my gosh.
anybody along that is going to be in trouble. So be extremely aware of your surroundings, no matter where you are. And if you see an issue, please call the city and let them know about it and advise them about it, and they'll get it to the right people, because we don't want anybody hurt. And they've got the plan, and now people have to learn to be patient. There's a lot of people, and we've got a lot of staff, but we don't have as many staff as we've got people in the city of Corpus
Right.
Christi. So they're going to try to get to you as quick as they can, and so please just be patient. I talked with them about since tomorrow being Sunday. I think it's Sunday. Today's Saturday, right? I've kind of lost track of
Yeah.
days.
Days are a
But,
little confused.
We've got tomorrow, and then probably Monday. I think maybe a lot of people will still be off. I'm trying to make arrangements that people that are out cleaning up their yards now, they've got trailers, they got pickup trucks, to waive any fee that they bring over to the transfer station or to the brush dump over there off of Ayers, so that if they've got a pickup truck or a trailer, they want to load it up and get it out of there, take it over there, there won't be any charge for that if it's hurricane debris, and we're trying to work that out, and hopefully I'll have some more information on that as quickly as possible. But the city's being very responsive as quickly as we can, as safely as we can. A couple of rumors I want to dispel. I mean, we've gotten several, and people kind of go, they take a lot of liberties on Facebook and texting, and
Sure.
there's reports of looting and on Padre Island, and there's looting here. The police chief says they have not had any 911 calls of any looting going on, and so just your routine normal burglaries that happen sunshine or rain, but in terms of trying to take advantage of people not being home, breaking into houses, they've not gotten any 911 calls on that, so that's good.
Yeah,
and I
it's
hope
good.
people are behaving
Yeah.
themselves. But the crews are working. I have not heard, and I asked the chief before I made a statement publicly. I said, Chief, are you aware of any fatalities are any major injuries as a result of the hurricane? And he said, no, we've had no reports. And let me tell you, for a Category 4 hurricane, with the damage that we're seeing here in Corpus Christi, our goal was no fatalities, no injuries. We accomplished our goal.
Sure you did.
And, you know, people, you ought to read some of the emails we've gotten about the mandatory evacuation or not. That decision was based in consultation with the fire chief, the police chief, the city manager, the county judge, and with the information we had at the time, we made the decision we made, and we made the right decision. Sure. And we're proud of it, and I'd make it again under those same circumstances. Sure. So I think the community needs to be extremely proud of the city staff and the emergency people that did the planning. I mean, this is just a year in, year out planning, and it worked. And so I'm extremely proud. But it's not an easy decision to make. You've got 300,000 people you're making a decision for right there with the best information you have. Sure. And we feel like we made the right decision.
Absolutely.
So
you got the folks that needed to get out.
We did.
They're there, they're safe.
And then there's some people think that there's a ban on returning to Corpus Christi.
That's a good question. I'm getting that a lot.
Yeah.
What do I do? Can I come back? When do I come back?
Well, here's, as they say, you make the call. But here's what you need to put into that decision. If you're a family with young children, you need to know that half of the city doesn't have power.
Right here.
I don't have power. I lost at 8 o'clock.
No power. No
About
power.
3 out of 3 right here. Yeah.
I lost at 8 o'clock, still don't have it. We have no power. The city lost power in the wastewater treatment facilities, and they lost power in the water treatment facilities.
Okay.
So we had to issue a water boil because under the TCEQ regulations, you've got to be monitoring that pretty much on a constant basis and making sure everything is meeting qualifications. And so when you lose power, you lose your computers, you can't read your monitors, you can't read your gauges, and there's not any wiggle room in the regulations.
Yep.
So you got to go by the rules. And so we're going by the rules. We're hoping as soon as we can get power, and we're trying to impress upon AEP that that's a pretty high priority for the whole city, is getting our wastewater facilities back up and running and our water treatment plant running.
I got a question about that, the water stuff, because I went home, power was out, I just wanted to check on things there, and I took a shower. It wasn't hot,
Yeah.
but it felt good because my AC was out. So showering is okay, you just don't want to take it in.
It's for consumption.
Okay,
I mean,
that's a big question right now.
You can wash your clothes, you can,
yeah, okay.
whatever you need
that's
other
great
than just
info, actually.
consumption.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will be over as quickly as possible. They're making that, I think, a priority.
No time frame on that though, right?
No, they've got to assess it. I mean, we were extremely fortunate in Corpus Christi when, relatively speaking, compared to what I'm hearing and seeing in Port Aransas, Rockport, Aransas Pass. They really have had a difficult and traumatic experience. And so, and we're offering help to them as best we can. And depending on what their need is, we're trying to respond as quickly as we can. But we've also got to make sure we take care of Corpus Christi because that's who we work for. Right. But we're partners in this, and we're going to try to help our neighbors as much as we can, go as big as we can.
Got a call from one of our neighbors saying, if I put out brush on the curb, will I be charged?
I can't give you a direct answer on that, but common sense says no.
Yeah.
What we'd like to do, though, in light of the fact that we're still anticipating more rain in the next 4 or 5 days, don't put it on the curb. Just put it on your easement, because you don't want to restrict the flow going down the road to get to the storm drains.
Sure, exactly.
So please don't put it on the curb. That restricts the flow. But if you just put it on your, between the sidewalk and the curb, which will allow the water to flow if this rain that's predicted comes back, the water can flow and we don't have flooding.
There is one thing about that rain. I mean, it's raining right now, coming in, but
that's why I'm as wet as I am.
Yeah. Hey, I thought you were sweating out there, but
well, I was doing that too.
It looks like the storm is actually going to be a little farther. It pushed inland a lot more, and that might have been because of how strong it was coming in, but it just barreled in. It's up like near Cuero right now, if you're familiar with Yoakum, Cuero.
Sure.
So the rain outlook for us is looking so much better, and that was one of the bigger concerns locally in Corpus Christi, was the rain after landfall, and that looks like it's going to go way down from the data that I'm seeing right now coming in. Yeah, we're under one of the outer bands right now, so we could easily pick up a couple of inches, but it's better than saying a couple of feet, which we were afraid of, and that's good.
Right.
Yeah,
But back to, well, let me just make one, I don't know what our time limit is, but that's the information on the water board. Now, to your question about can we come back to Corpus Christi?
Right.
And it's the individual's decision. There's no ban on the reentry to Corpus Christi, but here's what you have to be thinking about. And I have two of my children, my sons and their families left town. They've got small children. And they called and said, well, can we come back? I said, well, there's no ban or restriction for you coming back. Here's what you need to put into that decision. One, there's no electricity, or you need to get a neighbor to go over and see if you've got a light at your house. If you've got electricity, that you've solved one problem. But right now with over half the city with no electricity, so you got to take into consideration no electricity. You have a boil water situation because we have no electricity in the water processing. So if you use electricity to do your cooking, then you can't boil the water.
Yeah.
And then with wastewater, you can't, we want people to use the facilities as little as possible.
I said reduce the use of toilets and
That's
faucets.
right.
There we go.
Because
got that.
if there's no pumping in the wastewater system, it will take it as long as there's room in the pipes.
Right.
And when the pipes are full, then what does it do? It just starts backing up into your
up.
house.
Oh my gosh.
So you don't want to use the facilities except unless you just absolutely have to, until we get the power going and the pumps start working again.
Okay.
So, and these decisions can help, but those are the things that I think the people wanting to come back need to take into
Just
consideration.
remember, you may be coming back to a dark house or dark apartment,
And it's gonna be
no
hot.
idea.
And there's no air conditioning.
Gonna be hot.
And
Exactly.
August and September are the hottest months we have.
Exactly.
We have a
Corpus
skeeter
Christi.
meter here too, and that's going to go off the charts. With the rain,
But the decision is up to the individuals. I mean, I understand the desire to get back and see what your house looks like
Right.
and what you need to do, because, I mean, that's the American dream right there. But
there's no
same-
time frame, right, Mayor?
No, because they really don't know what that storm is. They come back in and restore it. If what you're saying is good news in terms of
The
that
rain
may, that may
outlook's
accelerate
slower.
the schedule of them being able to get in
Hopefully.
and do the repairs. But AEP is doing as quickly and as fast as they can, but it's a big job. But the citizens, I think, of Corpus Christi responded positively, and we're extremely proud of the citizens. And I can't tell you how proud I am of the police chief and the fire chief and the
First
office
responders,
emergency, the
they've
responders.
all done such a
They've
great
just
job.
they've done yeoman's work, and our goal was to have no fatalities, and I've had that confirmed by the police chief. And if you're making a decision on 300,000 people, and the decision could be life and death, and we've had none of that death, I think we've had a successful plan that through this event. We've still got a lot of cleaning up to do.
Oh my gosh,
but
do we have.
I'll take the criticism for not having a mandatory evacuation. I think we made the right decision.
I think you guys did too, as a matter of fact.
It's a good feeling in retrospect if you can honestly say, yeah, given everything how it unfolded, and you can say, yeah, I made the right. That's
Well,
peace of mind right there.
And I won't go there because
That's all right.
I can tell you from my personal experience, that was a difficult decision because I did not want anybody to have the experience of losing someone as a result of hurricane and flooding. And so I'm elated that that's our situation we find ourselves in.
Let's recap now, Mayor, what you've asked citizens to do, and what the city is doing, the brush and cleanup.
Right now, where we've got trees that are blocking roads, the city crews are out trying to get those roads clean. Now, I have no objection if some neighbors get together and a neighbor friend down the street has a tree that's a tree that's fallen out and crossing. If you've got a chainsaw, get out there and clean the street. That's exactly what happened over in our neighborhood. Sure. But they're getting out there. It could help if they knew, if someone knows of a tree that's blocking the road, to call the city number, and you guys have those different numbers.
Sure.
And let them know the location, and then they can get it on their schedule rather than waiting for somebody that's driving around to call them. So the more we know, the more information we have, the quicker we can respond. The second is be extremely aware of your surroundings, because you can drive down Alameda, or you can drive down Staples, or you can drive, and you can see the power lines that may be broke. But in the neighborhoods, we just don't have that many eyes and ears out there.
Right.
Particularly where you've got power lines that may be running in utility easements where houses are back to back, and there's that 8 or 10 foot utility easement that may
Right.
have the power lines running.
Sure.
So we're asking the community to help us identify where the problems are, not to solve them. And if you know where they are, please let us know and then stay away from them.
Right.
And then they've got to make their own decision on the reentry. There's no prohibition against coming back to town, but it has to be made a decision on good information, and we're trying to be as honest as we can.
Sure. And that information being that the power's out in many areas of Corpus Christi, 99,000+ people without power.
It's a
is
third
what
of
we
the
got.
city.
Third of the city right there.
Yeah.
From AEP. This was last night. That number may have gone up, may have gone down, but still, just to
Right.
give you an idea.
Oh, it's we'll get through this.
Yes, we will.
Corpus Christi is a great community. Some of us has been through this sort of thing before.